Hey everybody, I'm Kurt,
I'm Angie.
and we're back today to talk to you a little bit about some of the gear we're going to be using for our upcoming thru hike. We're still in the process of really tweaking our gear list, so we're not completed yet, but we're getting down to the crunch time. We've got, 3 months? So yeah, we're getting kind of tight on time, and we got to figure out what we're going to do on things. One thing that we've really been having issues with and trying to make a decision on is a tent, going from typically 2-person tent to 3-person tent, and looking at the options there, and just having some difficulties trying to find the tent that basically has everything that we're looking for. It seems like to get one thing you sacrifice another, and it's just an ongoing process. So what we've ended up doing is, as far as tents go, we ordered actually a Z-Packs offset trio, and we got it. We set it up, looked at it, and neither one of us is happy with it. Both of us looked at it and just didn't feel like it was going to fit our needs. Nice tent, nothing wrong with it. Just not our personal preference on what we're looking for in a tent. So, needless to say, that one went back. And we ended up ordering the big Agnes Tiger Wall UL3. Last night, we actually spent our first night in it. We set the thing up in the yard, figure we'll see how it goes. In the process, we had been looking for a quilt for Angie. We did end up ordering a quilt for Angie. Custom ordered her a UGQ, pretty much spec'd out the same as mine, and that came in last week. So the tent came, new quilt came, it's cold.
Give it a try.
Give it a try. So we decided to spend the night in the tent last night. It got down to mid-30s, about 35 degrees, I guess. Not terrible wind, but a little bit of wind. Tent did well. We didn't have any problems there. We were both plenty warm. Quilts did well. We've got a few pets. So Little Gray's going to join us for a little clip of this segment. So with the big Agnes that we've had them a while, and mine kept losing air. I had woke up, had to blow it up, I think 3 times last night to keep myself from being on the ground. I'm more of a side sleeper, so the old hip digging into the ground, needless to say, wasn't the most comfortable night for me. Temperature wise, we were both comfortable. I slept in pretty much shorts and t-shirt. Wasn't really bundled up. It wasn't all that cold. But yeah, the quilts served as well. So we're definitely going to be we have been looking and are going to be looking at replacing the big Agnes inflatable sleep pads that we do have for something else out there. And again, trying to be mindful of weight, but with starting earlier than what we had originally planned, we know we're going to run into some cold weather starting March 3rd versus the middle of April. So with that, we are adjusting a little bit on our gear to compensate for that. We know we're probably going to be a couple pounds heavier just from some of the clothing choices we make, and still don't know exactly where we're going with the sleep pads yet. So this is pretty well a 3-person tent. This is the Tiger Wall UL3 in the package. This is the tent and the fly. So in comparison, this is a little bit bigger than the typical 2-person. The other, for comparison, this is the Nemo Hornet Lead Osmos 2-person tent. So when you look at the comparison on them, it is a little bit bigger. But with 2 of us, and we've decided to share a tent, we're looking at having a little bit more room. We set the Nemo up. Both of us got in it with our pads, and it was pretty well wall-to-wall pad. It was everything we could do to get our pads both in the tent. We both use a 25 inch wide pad for comfort. I just really can't sleep on the narrower pads, and I don't.
There wasn't much room left over
No.
for our packs.
There's just not enough room left for our packs, anything else that we might want to put in the tent. So we decided to go with a 3-person tent. So with that, of course, with the Nemo, we are lighter. The Nemo 2-person is going to be a lighter tent than the Tiger Wall UL3. With the Tiger Wall, the actual weights on it, I've weighed everything separately, and we're looking at how to split that up between the two of us. And where we're coming up at with footprint, tent, stakes, everything, we are right at about 3.5 pounds with the Tiger Wall UL3, to where with the Nemo, in comparison, just a little over 2 pounds. So it is a little bit more weight, but when we split it between the two of us, 3.5, that's a 1.75 pounds a piece. So we're still sub 2 pound a piece once we split the tent up and share the weight of that. So
The tent and fly are the biggest part.
Yeah, the tent and fly are the biggest part.
The poles are a little long, but
Yeah, poles, really there's not that much difference in the poles. This is the Nemo poles versus the big Agnes poles. So a little bit more weight because it is a bigger tent, but size-wise you don't really gain or lose that much. With a 3-person, it's basically your size really gets into the fly and the tent itself. So with that, one of the other things we're looking at that we have added, we did pick up some good old Sea to Summit Reactor Extreme liners. So, they say these things will gain or help you gain 25 degree to your bag. We'll give them a try. Every little thing, everything will help, I guess.
did you try yours last night?
No, I didn't try it last night. Neither one of us used a liner last night. Like I said, mid-30s with a 20-degree quilt. We opted to, didn't feel like really needed it.
No. The coldest it got overnight when I checked, it said with the wind it was 30. Felt like it was 30.
So yeah, with the wind chill down to 30. With the quilts, and like I said, we've got the equal. We both have the same quilt. So UGQ. This is basically my quilt within a stuff sack. So it's not huge. It's not small. There's lighter quilts out there. These are running just right at about 2 pounds on the quilt itself. And basically what we've got on quilts, that is that 2 pounds. It sounds like, okay, that's a heavy quilt, but we're using wide, long, and overstuffed. So we've added about everything that you can put in the quilt. Used a 950 fill power. We opted to go with the sewn toe box in it. And with Angie's quilt, I've got it here. So looking at this thing, the toe box, this is a sewn toe box in it. It's an overstuffed sewn toe box. Quilts I've had in the past with the cinch and ties and everything, you always get a little bit of draft there on my feet. So I really don't like having anything open on my feet, so we did go with a sewn toe box. The other thing that I like with the UGQs is, and I don't know if you can see them with the camera, but they do have snaps. So you've got several snaps where you can snap up and close it up a little bit more. So that's kind of an option that's nice to have. And then you've also got a cinch cord that basically runs the length of each side of the quilt, and you've got a tension cord down here to where you can draw that in, suck it in, kind of keep some of those drafts off of you. So that's kind of a nice option to have. And then we both have the draft collar on it, and again with the draft collar you can cinch it up as well. And then it comes with the ultralight. It's got the loops where you can put the ultralight, what's the word I'm looking for?
Straps?
Straps, yeah, the straps where you can strap it to your sleep pad. So it's kind of handy, depending on how cold it gets. Last night, really didn't have that much trouble with drafts. It wasn't bad, and having the extra width and the extra length is nice because you don't feel like you have to. I've got a narrower quilt and used others to where if it's not wide enough, you get that, you don't really get that extra bulk there at the bottom to kind of just help keep the draft out. So last night with a 20-degree quilt being mid-30s, didn't get overly hot, but I didn't really draw anything in. I left a little bit to where I had a little bit of draft to kind of keep me cool because I didn't want to sweat. Didn't want to be cold. I didn't want to be too hot, and it worked out well. So with the quilts, yeah, very happy with UGQ. Needless to say, we ordered this quilt right here November 16th, and we got it this past week. So 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks. Don't know what the exact days were, but I think, you know, they were showing a 5 to 6 week lead time, wasn't it, when we ordered it?
I think so, yeah.
So they were showing 5 to 6 week. They beat it by half. I can't say that if you go and order one, you're going to get that, but anyway, it came fairly quick. And like I said, it's spec'd out the same as mine, so we have identical quilts. We knew what we were getting. And again, we've been very, very happy, very pleased with the quality, good loft to it. 950 fill, overstuffed, every extra we can add into it. And it should serve as well. We'll probably end up carrying the same quilt the whole trail, to be honest with you. With the liner, I don't know what we're going to end up sending back when it starts getting warmer. I'm sure some of the clothing we're going to cut back on. We'll get to that when we get there. That's pretty well where we're at on gear right now. Packs, we both opted to go with the Z-Packs Arc Haul, and we were weighing options between 50 liter, 60 liter, and the weight difference is so minimal that we ended up just going ahead and getting a 60 liter. I don't know the exact weight on them. They're a little over 20 ounces, less than 1.5 pounds. Comfortable. We've hiked with them. We hiked with them last trip out. Gear fits good in them. We have plenty of room. I don't think we're going to have any issues there. Both of us, like I said, we're both, I mean, are you comfortable with yours?
I like mine.
Yeah, I mean, we both like them. So in the past, we've always used more Osprey and what's the other company?
Gregory,
yeah. We'd used them for years, and they served us well, but the packs, just with the heavier weight, we wanted something that was going to be a little bit lighter for this trek. So right now with the last pack out, when the last hike we took out, we were around 15.5 pounds, and that was with a day's food and a liter of water. So our goal is going to be to keep everything under 25 pounds, I guess, and try to keep it as light as you can. But again, as we tweak things as we get closer and start crunching weights, there's things going to change. We can't say for certain it's going to be this way or that way yet. So anyway, but that's where we're at on gear. That's all we've got for now. Thanks for watching, and make sure and subscribe, so when we do get out on the trail and things get a little bit more exciting, you make sure and keep up with us, and we will see you next time.